Hello and welcome to PalaceFanTV for our March review video here at the Victory Club in Norwood, where we're looking back through Palace's results. It's going to be loads of fun. I'm Jim Daly, and joined with me as per is Terence Ford from redandbluearmy.co.uk and Jay Crame from the Eagles Beak. How you doing, lads?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Really?
We've had a couple of weeks off, so it's all right.
Good. Okay. Well, we're going to relive March, in which was an interesting one for Palace. 3 defeats, two defeats and a draw in the league, but a win in the cup. I'm going to start with that because we want to start positive and slowly get less positive. Palace into the semi-finals.
Yes.
Wembley,
Yeah.
which I think we can all agree semi-finals shouldn't be at Wembley.
I agree.
Totally agree.
But they are, and Palace are going to be there.
Do you sing K Sarah Sarah at a semi-final if you win when you're at Wembley?
We're coming back to Wembley.
It's a bit weird, isn't it? Yeah.
It is a bit weird, unacceptable. But Palace are there with a genuine chance, Jay, of, I mean, I don't want to jinx it, but you look at the last 4, genuine chance of winning the FA Cup.
2016 has been really odd, isn't it? You know, we've taken on Premier League sides in the cup and we've beaten them. Can't beat them in the league, but we've got ourselves to a semi-final and I'm going to say it, a favourable draw against Watford, and they would say the same thing against us.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have wanted any of the other sides. You know, this is a draw that probably both teams would have wanted.
But we had a favourable draw in the quarters, and
Very much so. First one probably
did the job,
as well.
didn't we? Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's a great chance, isn't it, to get to the final, forget about a league form, which is clearly what we're doing, and hopefully get to the final. But it's great.
The Reading game was very un-Palace in that it went exactly as you'd have hoped, or a neutral might have thought. Was that down to Palace being good or Reading being fairly poor?
I think a little bit of both. They were mainly terrorised by our midfield. I thought Zaha and Balassi were excellent, and Kabaya really controlled the game, and our extra class just told, really. I don't know what it's crazy. West Brom can go 3-0 up against us in one half of football, but they'll lose to Reading quite comfortably in the end, so it made it look really bad, and then we go to Reading and make them look really bad. So I don't know, I thought we were good, and Reading didn't really offer much. They tried to sit and it didn't really work for them. It
took playing against Reading for Kabay to have his first good game of 2016. Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
But he's been good since that.
Since MacArthur got injured.
Yeah.
But he's been good since that, so that kind of gave him the kick up the backside.
And I think that game, the man of the match was their keeper, which says an awful lot, doesn't it?
Yeah,
about
exactly.
the way we played. So
why, we said this on the last video and we couldn't work out, why are Palace good in the cup and not in the league? I know obviously Reading was a lower league opposition, but yeah, again we've got another month where we've got no wins in the league, but we're a win in the cup. What's going on?
I wonder where Pardew's taking them on those holidays that they go on before. Must be incentive to do some more.
Yeah. Maybe, but there is something about
it makes you
shackles
wonder,
off.
Yeah, it makes you wonder
pressure.
Whether there's a thought process of we've done well first half of the season, concentrate a bit more on the cup and see where we go. I can't believe that for 1 second that will be the case, but it kind of feels that way, doesn't it? Just forget about the league. Let's just concentrate on the cup. But
why can't I'm not a sports psychologist, but why can't you take that, whatever that feeling is before cup games, and apply that to league games, Terence? Oh, that's a very simplistic way of approaching it, isn't it?
I think they always talk about that there's a finality to a cup game, like the end is right there. You can see it within 90 minutes, as opposed to a prolonged season, especially if you start looking 5-6 games ago now for us in the league, we weren't doing anything. We weren't going to blow anyone's mind and finish high up the league. We're probably not going to get relegated. So it's kind of, there's a bit more excitement there. You can see your progress, especially once we got past Spurs and you get Reading and now Watford, who will so clearly get revenge for the playoff final.
But you can't, we're not mathematically safe yet, so there is still a finality to league games because, touch wood, like you'd said, we still could go down, so it's not like there is nothing to play for in the league, and yet as the weeks go by and more games come and go, we're running out of games to get those few points.
Norwich, isn't it, is huge. When we we'll probably lose to West Ham in the next game. You said you had a feeling about it.
I have a feeling every week. Hasn't changed anything so far this year, is it? So,
JD doesn't. But yeah, so we'll go to West Ham, probably lose, and then all of a sudden we've got Norwich, and they played Newcastle or Sunderland the game before.
Yeah,
so
right.
they've picked up 3 points at that, just for argument's sake. 31 points. We're still on
Palace
33.
there's some boffins have worked out the odds, and Palace have only got a 3% chance of going down of all the teams in the Premier League, but that's still a chance, isn't it, Jay?
I'm still not worried about going down. I'm really not. I can't see us
You
going.
look quite relaxed.
I still can't see us going to the end of the season without getting any points. Or a win between now. We've got to play Norwich, we've got to play Newcastle, who are in the mix as well. Obviously, those 2 games are games we can't lose. But for me, I can't see us keep going. The way we've been playing. I don't think we've been playing that badly in the last few games.
Okay, well let's come on to some league games then, because the Sunderland game was very close to win, 2-2 draw, late goal. Did Palace deserve the win from that, Terry?
Yeah, I thought the first half was quite even. They got a really lucky goal. Second half, we destroyed them. Unfortunately, substitutions hurt us a little bit. The intensity of the game was pretty high by that point, and Sacco came on and just wasn't up to speed with it. Adebayor came on and wasn't really up to speed with it either. And it cost us. Again, I say a lucky goal. I can't see that he's meant that. I think that
some people were saying an error by Hennessy for that one. Do you agree with that, Jay? I thought it was quite a good goal right in the bottom corner.
Well, probably a bit harsh on Hennessy. It's easy to pick him out, isn't it, at the moment, as making a mistake. But I think he hit it. Like Terry said, I don't think
hit as well.
I don't think I think it's more of a cross or trying to cross than a shot from that point. But yeah, I think it'd be very harsh to say it's Hennessy's fault, but I know a lot of people have.
Yeah, well, it sort of seems to be the thing now to sort of hammer Hennessy, doesn't it? Even when he makes a mistake for Wales.
It was just kind of his age-old thing, wasn't it? He just didn't sort his feet out quick enough, and you become hypercritical when he's done it a few times. You start to really notice it. So,
but I would say if Speroni lets that go in, no one's talking about Speroni's footwork.
Yeah, but I don't think Speroni does, because he's got better footwork.
I'd be surprised if any keeper saves that. But anyway, in the game, 2 goals for Connor Wickham. The importance of Wickham. I mean, has he? He hasn't played since. Has he been one of the reasons we're not winning games?
I still think that if he hadn't been injured in that game, we'd probably have got the win by now.
Yeah,
I really do. I think he was that good in those 2 games. Got injured, 4 goals in 2 games, wasn't it? Looking good, eye for goal as well, which is something we've missed for a lot of the season. Somebody has got, got an eye for goal, and I think here's a bit of a difference in the last couple of games we've had. We probably could have got the wins out of those, or at least points.
I mean, you're obviously head of the Connor Wickham fan club, so I'm guessing you're going to agree with that.
Yeah, I got accused of being a fanboy the other day when I was on Hull Radio. He's got 5 goals in 12 starts now. And you throw into the mix that I think he's our second in assists as well. It might be third in just 12 games. This is incredible, like insane stats for him. He just rounds our game off, offers us balance. It's nothing I've not said before, and it's good news that he should be back for Saturday.
So he's been out injured. Punch, MacArthur. We've had some hideous errors, including McCarthy at Liverpool, which we'll come on to. Have we just been unlucky? And it's easy to say, isn't it? Oh, we've been unlucky, we should be doing better. But it feels like actually there has been an element of bad luck, Jay, doesn't it? Palace haven't been playing that badly.
No, I think they're all contributing factors, really. Injuries, I haven't known a season like it for injuries. It's just constant. Week on week we seem to have somebody injured. We just heard Jednak pulled his hamstring at the weekend for Australia, missed the second game, so that could be another problem for us. But I haven't known one like it, and bad luck as well, goal errors, lack of form at the wrong times as well. It's all contributed, but you just think you can't keep making excuses, really, can you?
How many other seasons, in the past, you might have a keeper making a howler like Hennessy at Villa or McCarthy at Liverpool once a season? We've had a handful already this season, haven't we? I mean, it's just bad luck, Terence.
Going back to saying you've not known a season like it, doing the history articles on my website, under Alan Mullery, it seemed like the same sort of excuses. It's kind of like Pardew talking just like Mullery was in those days. Constant injuries, so much so that they had to last minute drafting a youth team player in one game who was 17 and actually due to be a ball boy that day and had to start because we had so many injuries, there was no many players, and then there was errors creeping in, missed penalties and stupid red cards and so on. But the excuse is you need to just give up on it at some point and just knuckle down and get that win, and that's not what we're doing at the moment. So,
and it becomes a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy, doesn't it, where the more games there are bad luck and errors, you then go into games thinking, well, there's probably going to be an error today.
It's a mindset, isn't it?
Exactly, yeah.
And you said you weren't a sports psychologist.
Well, there you go. Just get a degree in it. Liverpool, we were absolutely cruising up until Milner got sent off. Why couldn't we... Obviously, another error from McCarthy. Why couldn't we see the game out, Jay? Because you'd think 1-0 up, 10 men.
Yeah, the McCarthy slip, yeah. Again, like we said about Hennessy, was he at fault for something? I don't think McCarthy was at fault for that. Maybe looking back, he might have done something differently, but he slipped, didn't he? Whether he had the wrong stuff, but we see players week in, week out slipping on Sellers' pitch, don't we? Quite regularly. They water the pitch a lot, both before the game and at half time. But again, making excuses. But we were cruising. Milner got sent off. Sometimes that affects the other team. We're okay until that McCarthy error. Then the confidence was just shot completely out the window. Looked a completely different team, and we didn't know how to approach the game after that.
The Benteke, it wasn't a penalty, was it? It wasn't a penalty.
No, contact doesn't necessarily mean a penalty.
No. Well, he's trying to pull out of it. He's literally got his hands up, trying to slide away.
It's hardly any touch anyway. It's not enough. If somebody touched me in the street like that, I wouldn't go down.
Yeah.
So
I hope no one will do that anyway. That would be very weird.
Benteke's lost control of the ball. He's realises there's no one in the middle. He's tried his luck, and surprise, surprise, the referee gives it against us. Or not even a ref. It's a fair play to the ref. He didn't give it
because he came out and said he wasn't going to give it.
Yeah, and still didn't think it was a penalty after he'd seen it. Anyway, he also said so. The linesman's obviously seen the slight contact, which nobody else could see except for with a super slow replay.
Yeah. We did get a fairly soft penalty at Reading a week later.
We did.
Should be said.
I still don't think that's a penalty, really. If we're saying the Benteke one wasn't a penalty, but again, I think the problem is Delaney in the Liverpool game has given a referee a decision to make by sliding him where he did. Same as the Reading defender has given a referee a decision to make.
Yeah,
so exactly right. Delaney was an idiot for sliding in, and that Cooper was an idiot for blocking off the path because Bolassi's not going to get to the ball. It's going to run through to the goalkeeper. And again, maybe Pardew's had a word in between the games and said, give the referee a decision to make.
Yeah, exactly. Or also, because it was such a big decision, referees and other players see that and it becomes a thing even before you get to the game. Does it seem like Palace, you're saying the confidence drained after the McCarthy thing, does it seem like we're quite a fragile team at the moment, Terry?
Very.
Confidence is not quite there.
When you compare it to the previous 2 seasons, our team spirit was so high. We definitely seem to be lacking that. I can't think of any notable exits that you would think that would cause that. So it must be things that are just a build-up of stuff that's happening in games. Or I guess the only other difference is Pardew. But I don't know. That's the debate for another day, I think.
Is it though? Is he any other manager that had a 13-game winless run in the league might be under more pressure, or has the cup game saved him, Jay?
Yeah, no doubt. I think the position, the way we started the season and got our points on the board early. By the end of the year, we had 31 points. Starting the year, obviously doing well in the FA Cup. Personally, I don't think Pardew can afford to have another run like this. He's going to survive till the summer. He's going to have a summer, no doubt, to do what he needs to do. But if he has another run like this, I think he'd be under pressure more so than now.
What concerns me greatly is that he seems to think this is normal, because it happens all the time throughout his career. He has long, sustained winning runs and then big losing runs, and it's not normal. You're the only manager that it happens to, so it worries me that I feel he needs to get out of that mindset where some of those losses, if we would have just settled, ground out draws, it would have been give us something to build on. But instead, he just wants to win every game. And he kind of annoyed me a bit when he said, I've got a way I want to play, I want to attack, and I want to go for wins. And I think the Palace fans feel the same. It's like, no, I want to grind out some draws, thank you very much, when they're needed.
But can we complain if he did come in and said, I am going to be attacking, and we will lose some games we should have won, and we're going to put the ball at risk? Can we really complain when we knew that was going to happen? When
you've lost not 1 in 5 or 6, yes.
Yeah.
When you're 2 games away from a club record of not winning, too much.
I think you've got to get to this point and be a bit clever about it and actually realise that the players themselves need some confidence.
And this team can go back to basics. It can play solid and defensive, can't it? And
You might as well just give Keith Millen the reins for a couple of games, go back to two central defensive midfielders in front of the back four, sit deep, and go through Zaha and Balassi. Why not?
Good old Keith, lovely Keith. So the Leicester game, I guess, is kind of similar to what you were saying there, Terence. A game that on another day, maybe Palace could have ground out a result. Bit unlucky to lose, maybe, but Leicester are Premier League leaders, and they're also grinding out 1-0 wins.
And extremely lucky if you take Pardew's.
But were they? I mean, any other day that Delaney volley goes in.
Yeah, well, it is a perfect storm of events for Leicester. They've managed to stay fit, but again, it's the second time I've seen them this season live in the flesh, and you can't pinpoint any one particular area where they're absolutely outstanding. Of course, Mahrez has his days, and we've all seen that on TV. But what they do is 11 players running for 90 minutes at full pelt, and they work for each other, and it's the win for the team. It really it shows, especially in a day and age where the individual is becoming such a big thing, for a team to go and win something, which is undoubtedly what they are. It's from including their bench. Everyone comes off the bench, like Jeffrey Schlupp, players like this. These should never be players who are going to win Premier League titles, but fair play to them. They look amazing as a unit.
And obviously, I mean, they do have individuals in Mahrez and Vardy. Mahrez was given a lot of space by Soiré, wasn't he, on Saturday? And Soiré against Reading also wasn't particularly fantastic. What's up with him?
I think he's had a bad month, hasn't he? Probably more so, actually, more than a month. Him and Ward, I think, have really struggled fullback.
Are we allowed to say that Ward's not playing well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we are, aren't we?
Yeah,
definitely.
He's definitely not. Pat Soiré did score a free kick for his country yesterday.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, nice little curler over the wall.
Is he not just a left winger being forced to play left back?
Positionally, it looks like
it. It does look like it, yeah.
Well, we joked about it, didn't we, on the board videos back at the start of the season when where we thought people would be playing and so on, and we had Soiré sort of up in the corner flag because it's where he is all the time, and when all of a sudden you've got a player like Mahrez who's not overly interested in defending, just hugging that touchline as a sort of almost like a second striker but hanging out wide, he exposed him and made it look really bad, and it was unfortunately it was too late by the time we're taking him off.
Maybe right now we need a defence that his attacking qualities are undoubted, but maybe we need a defence that is more solid, and maybe we need, and this is a player's name that's come up this week after being featured on an article of underrated players, is Mariappa. He was played under Pulis in our best defensive run. Should he be given a go?
Yeah, I think Suarez defensively is very questionable. I think going forward, great on his day, but I agree. Mariappa hasn't had a look in at all. Whether he's not Pardew's favourite, I'm not sure. Kelly's had a look in now and again, but I'd rather us have a solid back line at the moment, or try and get a solid back line.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to slate Soiré overly, but I'm going to. I don't think he does have his day going forward. Other than the first couple of games where he put in a couple of crosses, his crosses consistently hit the roof of the net or the goalkeeper's hands. It looks good because he overlaps nice, the link-up plays nice, but there is no end product. Not once. He hasn't scored a goal. He hasn't got any assists that I can remember. So what is he offering the side where Mariappa would get up and down the flank as well as defend, and will get the odd assist and the odd goal? So.
Well, we can confirm that Soiré won't be in our power rankings for video 2, but you can watch video 2 because we are going to be working on our power rankings for March. Don't forget you can subscribe to PalaceFanTV. If you haven't subscribed yet, it's the end of March. Click that button now for all your Palace content, and follow us on Instagram and Snapchat, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers.